The Websters make their way back to Coronation Street after their family getaway next week, and Kevin Webster is instantly annoyed to discover that his brother, Carl Webster, has resumed work at the garage. Kevin had dismissed his untrustworthy sibling only weeks earlier, fearing that his wife, Abby Webster, was edging dangerously close to an affair with him. Believing that firing Carl would drive him out of Weatherfield, Kevin's scheme went badly wrong when Carl chose to remain, insisting he wanted to support their sister, Debbie Webster, who had just been diagnosed with young-onset dementia, though privately admitting to Abby that she was his real reason for staying. When Abby uncovered that Kevin was hiding Carl's criminal activities, including a stolen car racket, in exchange for Carl keeping quiet about Kevin's deception, pretending to still be sick after receiving the all-clear from cancer, she was devastated. Although Abby agreed to remain with Kevin for the children's sake, she couldn't resist Carl, and the pair soon embarked on a fiery affair, with Abby quickly falling hard for the deceitful mechanic. Carl may have feelings for Abby, but loyalty has never been his strongest quality. For a while, they managed to keep their relationship hidden, but after Debbie collapsed in a frightening incident, their secret was exposed by the ever-scheming Tracy Barlow. When ruthless Tracy began blackmailing them for cash, Abby panicked and suggested running away to Germany with Carl, while he decided to step up his car thefts to raise the funds. Meanwhile, Abby reluctantly jetted off to Mallorca to join Kevin on a holiday she had originally refused, wanting to spend more time with Carl, who in her absence persuaded Tyrone Dobbs to let him work a few shifts at the garage. On Kevin's return, his fury boiled over as he demanded Carl pack up and leave the garage immediately. With no money left to silence Tracy, Carl grows desperate and makes a reckless choice, one that will unleash dangerous consequences for everyone involved. Coronation Street viewers claim done on purpose after spotting big shift in soap's tone during disturbing scenes. The latest episode featured unsettling moments between Todd Grimshaw and Theo Silverton that many fans said were hard to watch. Corey fans believe they've noticed a deliberate adjustment in the way the show is being filmed, which came to light during a harrowing storyline involving Todd. Monday night's trip to Weatherfield delivered tense scenes as viewers witnessed The Undertaker's romance with builder Theo spiral into something much darker. Concerns over Todd's well-being have been rising in recent weeks, with audiences watching as troubling incidents built up in his relationship, which began earlier this year. The pair first crossed paths by chance on the cobbles, and sparks immediately flew. However, Todd was left unsettled when Theo insisted on keeping their budding romance hidden. Todd had no idea at the time that Theo was secretly married to Danielle and raising 2 children, though he did know Theo struggled with his family's strict religious stance. When the truth eventually came out, Theo found himself battling the fallout from his children's reaction to his new life. Tensions deepened with the reappearance of Noah Headley, who had subjected Theo to conversion therapy in the past. Noah stirred up fresh chaos by starting a relationship with Theo's ex-wife and manipulating his teenage son, Miles. As a result, Theo was forced into mediation with Danielle, who brought Noah along for support. Noah used the session to provoke Theo by referencing a recent assault, one Corey fans know was actually carried out by Gary Windus. Instead of being able to lean on Todd afterwards, Theo was left disappointed, as Todd chose to drown his own stress at the Rovers. A phone call between the pair ended badly, with Theo masking his frustration but seething that Todd wouldn't come home. While Todd stayed put, Theo got drunk alone before storming into the pub to find him, bristling with anger as he spotted Todd chatting with his ex, Billy Mayhew, a man Theo has already tried to drive away. Leaving in a rage, Theo slipped out before Todd eventually arrived home, takeaway in hand and tipsy. Theo lashed out, criticizing his eating habits and leaving Todd confused. When the truth spilled out, Theo exploded, saying he needed Todd after the disastrous mediation, but found him instead laughing with Billy. Things escalated when Theo shoved Todd's hand away, warning him never to touch his face again. His aggression grew worse as he grabbed Todd's face and even force-fed him kebab in a chilling display of control. Yet what gripped viewers just as much as the storyline was the visual contrast. Fans pointed out a clear change in how the darker scenes were lit compared to the brighter, almost romantic tone used during Carla Connor's latest proposal attempt to Lisa Swain. Coronation Street fans divided after Tony Maudsley shares George Shuttleworth news. Viewers of the ITV soap have been left with mixed feelings after Tony Maudsley gave an update on his character George Shuttleworth. Recently, fans saw George's love life take a turn when his partner, Eileen Grimshaw, decided to leave Weatherfield behind for a fresh start in Thailand. Maudsley, who has played Undertaker George since 2020, first arrived on the cobbles as the son of Archie Shuttleworth, former owner of Shuttleworth's Independent Funeral Directors on Tile Street. George has now found himself single after Eileen's sudden departure, which followed the heartbreaking loss of her sister, Julie Karp. In Monday night's episode, George admitted he hadn't heard a word from Eileen since she flew out in June. That changed when he received a message from her, reading, "Sorry I've not been in touch. It's been full on here. Hope you're okay. Love Eyelash X." Meanwhile, George has been spotted spending increasing amounts of time with Christina Boyd, the manipulative mother of Daisy Midgley, who recently made her own return to Weatherfield. Fans of Coronation Street will remember that Christina was previously run out of Weatherfield after her money-making scheme against Jenny Connor collapsed. Working alongside her daughter Daisy, she tried to con Jenny, but the former barmaid turned the tables and exposed them both. So when Christina reappeared, Jenny was certain she was up to her old tricks. She refused to believe that Christina's former catfish victim, Dom, had actually died and suspected that was the real reason she was hanging around George Shuttleworth. Her doubts came to a dramatic head last week when she stormed into the funeral home, flung open a coffin, and came face to face with Dom's body, proving once and for all that he was dead. Although Jenny later apologized for her accusations, it hasn't stopped George from growing closer to Christina. In Monday's installment, the two were shown enjoying each other's company, hinting at a budding connection. After the episode aired, actor Tony Maudsley shared a snap of himself with Amy Robbins, who plays Christina, and captioned it on Instagram, "Oh, even I like to see George smiling. Maybe finally he's found something to smile about." While some viewers were delighted to see George moving on after Eileen, others weren't so sure. One fan wrote, "I loved George and Christina's scenes tonight. Totally agree. I like seeing George smiling too." Another added, "Really enjoyed watching George and Christina. Jenny isn't happy about them, and I don't think it'll last long, lol." Others sounded a warning, with one posting, "I don't trust her. Sorry, she's trouble." Another commented, "Christina is entertaining, but can't be trusted. Glenda will be furious if George ends up being taken in by her." One viewer said, "I love seeing George happy, but I hope Christina's genuine this time. She's usually nothing but trouble." And another joked grimly, "Lucky George, but I hate the thought of him getting hurt. Could be another nail in the coffin."